container will hold input field. Input field will have, I'm giving it ID of input value. It can be anything. I'm having a button for adding input field. This button, I'm giving it an ID of add task. Lastly, I'll have URL. In this URL, this is where we'll be storing the list items. Now let's style. Before we style, let's see how this looks on the browser. This is what we have. Alright, so let's continue. Let's style. Of course, this will remove the default padding and margin. I'm targeting this body. I'm giving it minimum height of 100 view height. I'm giving it display grid. Okay, I want the items to come to the center. Because of that, I will say place items center. This is what I have. Okay, the next thing I want to target now is this container. So I'll target my container. I'll say dot container. I'll give it box shadow of this. Okay, this is what I have. Let me give it width and height. So let's give it width of 400 pixels, height 400 pixels. So this is what we have now. Border radius 10 pixels. This is what we have. Okay, so next I want to target input field. Okay, but before then, let me give this padding of 20 pixels. So this is what we have. Alright, let's target input field container input. The input field is inside the container, so that's why I targeted this like this container. Okay, so I'll give it width of 100%. So width of 100%. So this is what I have. Already know that this padding has effect on it. So because of see what you have now. So adding the padding, this is what we have. Alright, so let's give it padding. So you can give padding of 10 pixels, 5 pixels. Okay, so this is what we have: 10 pixels top and bottom, 5 pixels left and right. Alright, so next thing we are going to do now is maybe I should minimize this like this. Let's have visualize it very well. So next thing I will do now is let's add margin bottom on input field. So margin bottom, say 10 pixels. Then let's increase the font size of the text. So it's a font size, let's make it 18 pixels. 18 pixels. Okay, so on click you see this black line that comes out, so I'll say outline none, so it doesn't come out again. All right, then let's give it border radius of 10 pixels. So this is what we have. You can actually change the color of the border, so say border 2 pixels solid pink. Alright, so changing the shade of the pink, this is what I have. Okay, so now let's target the button dot container button. So I'll start by changing the background color, default background color to white. So this is what I have now. I'll increase the height and width using padding. So padding top 25 pixels left and right. So padding top and bottom is 10 pixels, left and right 25 pixels. So this is what we have. Now let's increase the font size. Let's make it 20 pixels. Okay, 18 pixels. Alright, so this is it. Border radius of 5 pixels. Now border radius of 5 pixels. Let's add hovering effect on our button. I think I should make this one lighter. Okay, so this dot container button hover. So on hover, we want the background color to be okay, dark pink like this on hover. Then the color should be white. Okay, so this is what we have on hover. Let me add transition here. Transition 0.6 seconds. Alright, so this is what I have. Now let's move to script. So I'll simply minimize this stuff. Alright, this is our script. First thing first, we need to target input field. So we need to target it in the script in JavaScript using document.getElement by ID. So input value document.getElement by ID. With document.getElement by ID, you can change the value of an HTML element in JavaScript. So the ID we are using is input value. The next thing we are targeting is this add task. So for add task, we are going to say let's add task. Remember, you can call this one anything too because it's a variable. Equals to document.getElement by ID. Put the name of the ID, add task here. The next thing we are targeting is UL. So here I'm gonna say let's UL like this equals document.getElement by ID UL. Okay, we've gotten the role of the HTML element we have. So with JavaScript now we can manipulate each of these elements. So now let's target the button. So once when we click on this button, let me maximize. When we click on this button, I'm opening the console. So right click, then inspect. So this is my console. And once when I click on this button, let hello come here. So let's, to be sure that we're targeting it very well, so I'm going to start add task dot add event listener. After add event listener, click. So I'm using arrow function. So console dot log hello. Console dot log hello. So it's working. The button is active. So now the next thing we want to do is, when we click on this button, whatever we type here should be displayed for us. So if I type something, it should come out here, no longer hello, the content of the input field. So now we are targeting this input field here. Remember, this is our input field, input value, so is the ID. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say console dot log inputs, this input value here, the input field here, dot value. This value is the main keyword you should also target. Okay, so now let's see. When we maximize, when I add something good, it should come out good. Good is working. Bad. If I say hi, come out. Alright, so our is also working. Now next thing we should do is, we want to be able to list everything here. When I add something here, washing, I want to wash clothes or washing, and click add list, it should appear on this place. So what we are going to do now is we are going to create an element list with, so let me comment the whole of this out. So I'm going to create an element. So I'm going to select lil equals documents dot create elements. So the element we want to create is list elements. So we just created this list element. So now inside list element, we're going to say list element dot inner HTML should be equals to whatever is this input value. We have this input value here, so we'll take it here. So we want, in HTML we have lists, items, and say URL. Inside you I have lists, and I can say hey or okay, whatever here. Let's see how it will look like. So this is list items. So this is similar to what we want to create now. So I'm removing the whole of this, but I want it to appear inside this UL here. Let's console log and see the outcome. Console.log li dot inner html. Okay, so I type something now. You see, it's working good. It's working good. So next thing we should do is to add it to the UL. So what we are going to do is, we have UL up, this UL now. So I'm going to take this UL here, I'll bring it here. So we are appending it to UL. So we are going to say UL.append child. So what are we appending to it? The list element, list item. So we just do, let's see. So I say good. Yeah, you see, we appended it. Cooking, we appended. Ironing, yeah, it got added to the UL. So now the next thing we should do now is, let's target let's target this list item. We want to add cancel button here so that you can easily remove item. So here I'll say plus, here I'm having span tag. Okay, span tag. Here I'm gonna have this cancel. I'm not using any icon now. So here I'm going to have, I'll give it a class which is delete task. Then on click we'll say remove this. Okay, so we just did that now. Alright, so next thing we are going to do is, let's see now. So next, if I add task again, the times will come out with it. So this count, if I should click it, it should be able to remove this whole line. Okay, so next thing we are going to do now, let's create a function for it. So to create the function, we come here. Function we are creating is remove. I have it here. So I said on click remove this. So this is the argument it accepted. Here we're giving it a parameter. So let's call it object. So here I'm going to say let item equals to object.parent node. And I'm gonna say this item dot parent node dot remove child and the child is item. So let's see, we click on this, it's gone. Write something else, it's gone. Okay, so this is document object model method of removing parent item, not just parent item, the child from the parent item. In my course, in my HTML and CSS course, I will explain this very well. I mean, in my JavaScript course, I'm going to explain this very well. Okay, so this is it. Our to-do list is working. So we add elements, add, remove. Okay, so we want, when we click on add elements, right? We want, when we click on this field should be empty. Okay, so what we're going to do now is this place we have, I'm gonna set input value to 0, to nothing. So take this, come here, put it here and set it to nothing. Right, remove this. Now let's style our li. So going up, I'm going to style li up. So on the style sheet, so opening our style sheet, come here. So I'm going to have li okay, I'm going to have li here. So our li, I'm going to give our li a background color of, say, gray or light gray, right? So let's see, I have cooking, so this is what I have. I remove. Now this list marker that is coming out, I don't want it to come out, so we're going to remove it. But before that, let's give this padding of, say, 2 pixels. Let's give it 4 pixels, 2 pixels. And we need to give a margin top of 4 pixels. Then I want us to give a border radius of, say, 5 pixels. So this is what I have. So good, yeah, nice. Washing, right? So this is what we have now. Now the list marker I talked about, let's remove it. This marker here, dots, all these dots. So I'll target UL here. So I'll say UL list style tab. I'm changing this to none, so we don't want that marker coming out. Okay, so I'll say writing. Okay, it's gone. So the next thing I want to do is to give space between this the writing and between the list item and the cancel button. So that's the next thing we're going to do now, to give space between the list item and the cancel button. So what we're going to do now is, on this list item, let's give it display flex. So display, I'll say flex. Now just say justify content, space between. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is what we want. This is what I want. So the last thing I'm going to do is just to increase the padding on this. So let's increase the padding. So padding left and right, let's make it 5. Okay, so this is what we have now. So the last one is on hover. This span tag, let's give it hovering effect. So on hover, I want it to be changed to pointer. So target it, say span hover, cursor should be pointer. So I say this, I have this, right? So this